Cetus Lapidus, Darian.
Oh shit!
We watched one episode of a TV show based on a decom.
So yeah, so I guess we're in the zone. We're back in the decom podcast again.
Let's go. What we watched: Zombies
Reanimated.
Is it reanimated? They called it Re-Senior.
Yeah, well, that's what they're calling it. They're doing their re-senior year. That's what they're doing in the show.
Yeah.
They're being clever with the title. It's reanimated like a zombie.
Yeah.
So, it's the really shitty CG show. Like,
would you rather it be this shitty CG show or this shitty Toon Boom one?
I would prefer a shitty Toon Boom show, if I'm gonna be totally honest. It looks too French for me.
Darian hates the French.
I don't hate the French.
He hates them.
I don't.
He hates them. I don't know where I got that from.
But he hates them.
The intonation. I think the line was specifically like, "He hates us." I don't know where I heard that, but I love it.
Audience, you got to find it. What do you think that's from? Because I honestly have no idea. But yeah, we watched the first episode. I guess first two because it's
11-minute blocks. Yeah.
But like, I could just watch the zombies movies instead.
Yeah, and I do just pull up the soundtracks to those movies and I go, these songs are terrible.
Or.
And then I keep coming back.
Yeah, there's something in the water, But this show, like, they had music, some musical moments because, of course, the movies. At least there was, I think, one song. Was there a song during
episode 2?
Yeah, the about the Zoda.
Yeah.
So he kind of had a song.
So I assume that there's like a jingle every episode, something akin to a Phineas and Ferb, one might say.
Mm-hmm. Of a much lower quality than compared to Phineas.
Oh, I just mean structure-wise.
But yes, structurally.
Like you'll get a jingle, a 1 minute interlude, things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not a full 2-minute track.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get your 20-second triangulations in there on occasion.
You'll get your aglets, which like maybe 50 seconds of actual song, but sticks in one's mind aggressively.
Everyone loves aglet.
Everyone loves aglet. That's so good.
Stay tuned for our top 50 Phineas and Ferb song stream.
That's so many, but there are that many. I know, I get it, but also
there's 200 something episodes.
50 though.
We can narrow it down to 50.
God, I'd do a top 25 maybe. That's a lot of fucking songs.
Can you squish all your Phineas and Ferb songs into a top 25? Probably.
If I'm gonna be totally honest, yes.
I feel like I like too many of them.
I'd have to go back through and watch a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely would. There's probably a collection of all of them.
Probably
on YouTube.
Right. Are you gonna say that You're Going Down isn't gonna make it in the top?
That's in the top 10. Don't even play. It's one of Candace's best songs.
I feel like the Candace section
is just the top 10.
Is horribly underrated. Because anytime people go oh, good songs from Phineas and Ferb, you don't see the Candace section blown up.
I mean,
much.
No one ever talks about Queen of Mars.
What do you mean? We always.
I mean, people with tastes talk about it, but
connoisseurs.
The unwashed masses, no. People are like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's one of the best." So how about fuck you? Give me, I'm the Queen of Mars. I wasn't visible on Earth.
Queen slay.
All her songs are so good.
Right.
It's just so fucking good.
Is that where animation ended? Was Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, we went out with a one big bang. I mean, that was a long show.
Right. Yeah, it was.
We got to ride that way for a long time, and it was so good. And then we got a movie, and we're getting another season.
We're getting a season 5. So I'm not looking forward to it.
No, I'm not.
Because I'm not even a person that likes all of Phineas and Ferb. I like season 2 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, as soon as you get to, like, season 4, I'm kind of dragging.
I mean, it is like it's just this. It's literally the same thing. They know actively they don't have to evolve the formula. They just don't.
But also, they probably shouldn't. Like, that's the issue, right?
Like, it is perfect as is. But when you get to, like, episode, like, 150, you're kind of like, it's okay, dear, it's time for your 4 o'clock Phineas and Ferb formula.
Yeah. And I'm like, is the song at least catchy this episode?
Please.
And yes.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
You get your, like, you know. Because the songs that are done by the characters, we got more of toward the later. But, like, in season 1, you have, like My Nemesis, which is, like, that weird 70s band, hippie band that, like, kind of just shows up out of nowhere to sing.
Look, that song's still good.
It is. Oh, what's the one with the one where Doofenshmirtz is on the date with that one girl?
Oh my god, that
Evil
one's
Love.
good. Yeah.
Evil Love, yeah. That one's so good.
That one's good.
We were talking about zombies.
No, we weren't. What do you mean? We talked about it? It's bad.
It's bad. You don't watch it. No, don't watch it. Anyway,
watch Summer Belongs to You instead.
Ugh.
Don't you want to see a duet between Clay Aiken and
Shaka
Shaka Khan?
Josh, you don't know who Clay Aiken and Shaka Khan are.
You're right. But isn't it funny?
It's very funny. It's like, what a fucking pull, man. I've probably told this story, but I was once on a flight to the West Coast to see family.
Yeah.
And Summer Belongs to You had just come out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so Summer Belongs to You is this long. And it's like a 4-hour flight. So I'm like, so if I watch all of Summer Belongs to You like 6 times, I'll be over on the West Coast. So on the flight, I only watched Summer Belongs to You over and over and over again.
You know what? The songs in that one are good, though.
They're pretty solid.
They're pretty good.
And we didn't even get them all on the
no,
because the Ballad of Klimpaloon is only on the album. I mean, like, you know, if
that's
you want
a sequence that can be cut.
Yeah,
like,
if you want Love Handle, like, because that's
that's
who does it basically. But like, all the other songs pretty good.
Yeah.
The caramel dancing was a little painful though.
It's a little.
It was kind of cringe.
It's a little.
Like,
it do be that way,
but
also I want it to come back.
It has to, right? No, see, I don't want Caramel Dancing to come back. I want Gadon to come back. That one's so much funnier.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's way better. What do you mean?
It's fine. It's fine.
I know that reference. Literally nobody knows what Gadon is, but like, please bring it back. It's funny because I've seen people doing it on TikTok, both Japanese and American accounts.
We don't need.
It's wild, but it's so good.
Maybe TikTok was a mistake.
Oh, we all know this. This is true. This is correct. But also, you can get Gadon on it. Gadon. It's so good. Look it up, everyone. No. It's awesome. It's a great meme from ye ol' internet. Back when we had to hand crank our computers and shit. It was awesome.
Yeah. I think I preferred the vegetable juice Miku music video.
I mean, that's reasonable.
People.
We're gonna rate old memes stream.
Send us your dank old memes.
Yeah, send us your boomer memes and we'll tell you if we know
if they came out after the year 2010, we're banning you.
We're banned. If I don't see at least 100 all your bases, I need Velociraptor, I need Bad Luck Brian, I need all the good shit.
I miss Velociraptor. Right? There's something about that where I'm like, we used to be a society.
Without Velociraptor, who are we? Look at the generations that have been raised since without him. He fixed us.
I look at Velociraptor and Raptor Jesus.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, the internet was just better.
It was just better.
Just better. You know? All don't understand.
It was even better when Rickroll was Duckroll. Like that
right?
that was better.
I remember the duck roll. I remember Ron Ron Roo. Oh no. Okay, we're still
literally no one knows what we're talking about.
We're still at Drug Baron Forest.
Yep. Back at it again at Drug Baron Forest.
Back at it again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're just doing shit. We're gonna pin Cammy Boy to the ground.
Well, we already pinned him to a tree.
Yeah, but I want to pin him to the ground, rip off his pants.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to? Why don't you just pin him to a tree? Rip off his pants.
Because it's you get better leverage when he's on the ground.
I suppose you could just let gravity work him.
But I want the satisfaction.
That's true.
I don't want Sir Isaac Newton getting in the way.
Sir Isaac Newton, I don't need your help to fuck. I don't need you, bro.
Cameron watches the bear's mouth move in waves and ripples, yellow teeth poking out from behind his lips as saliva collects and becomes frothy at the corners. Who's watching this? Cameron reassures himself automatically. I'm watching this, and I need to save Devon. He's not so convinced by the first part. Oh. Me? Cameron? Simple concepts that aren't so simple anymore. Just like in high school, he stopped existing. It's different this time, though. The Xanax is certainly quashing the panic he should be feeling right now. But this time, his perspective is from a completely different angle. Cameron's amalgamation does still exist, but the borders has dissolved, and he seems to be seeping into everything. Despite already knowing he's insignificant, he's still awestruck by how small Cameron is compared to the world. Even the bugs crawling beneath the leaves make Cameron feel small, an entire world he knows nothing about. But entangling his identity with the universe means he's also entangled with Brian. The bear is missing parts of himself, kind of like Artie, shattered pieces and jagged holes. Poke making?
Pock barking.
Epoch Maker Dragon. Strider da generation.
You're insane.
What?
You're insane. You're clinically insane. Just wanted you to know. That's okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's fine. It's perfectly okay.
The landscape of his life. Cameron almost feels sorry for him. That maybe he thinks if things had been just a little different, the odds just a little more in Brian's favor, he could have been a very different person. What's really disturbing, though, is the genuine affection he has for Cameron, his urge to caress and hold the coyote. But there's a hatred there, too, a disgust for what Cameron is. Young, attractive, and a fag. Truly the most damning thing.
Truly.
Not just queer, like Brian considers himself to be, but a faggot.
He's got it figured out, doesn't he? Brian's got that shit figured out.
I'm gonna take that to heart.
I bet you will. Writes it down in my notebook. Oh, yes. I found the secret.
Oh, the kind of queer that acts real cute for fucking over the real men who should be doing all of the fucking. So it feels good to punish Cameron, but it's even better to watch him suffer, to watch the way his body writhes, his open mouth for air, his eyes wide and fearful. Cameron feels himself recoil from understanding Brian's thoughts, process, a way of thinking he's never considered himself. But that thought process isn't what makes Brian the terrible person that he is. Cameron knows that most don't have a say in how their sexual interests and fetishes develop, and so the thoughts themselves aren't exactly evil, at least not to Cameron. Cameron knew a few guys from college who had interests similar to Brian. During his first year of dating Devon, the bear had timidly asked him if he could gently close his teeth over the coyote's neck and growl.
I respect it. I respect it. You don't want someone to growl on you?
No.
Go. "Arr."
No. I'm not that far gone.
Fair. Reasonable.
It was thrilling and intense, and Cameron loved the rush. But then Devon had a nightmare about tearing out Cameron's throat, and that had to end at that.
Go off.
So to Cameron, Brian isn't all that strange. What makes Brian different isn't that he has fetishes. He's not crazy. Oh, he's crazy. He's not a psychopath. That's what I like to tell myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, the true root of Brian's evil is clear. He's selfish, and he's never satisfied with what he gets. Selfish enough to put dozens of young people through hellish torture until they finally died. All while having the capacity to fully control himself. And while having full access to alternatives like roleplay. But it's not enough. He always needs more. All for his own fleeting, drug-fueled sexual gratification because of one point, Brian decided that's what makes him feel good. So fuck this world that makes him feel bad. But he'd found some release in strangling Cameron, and now his focus is turning back to a vague idea of how to use Cameron's abilities. Something to stop him from spending the rest of eternity with his victims torturing him. Cameron could spoil the ending for Brian, let him know that when everyone dies, they just cease to be what they are. That's it. Ghosts, demons, poltergeists, creations of the living, and whatever it is that's an echo. Cameron draws back at this point, getting overwhelmed by all of the thoughts coming from the old bear, unable to understand them without more context. Looking forward, the glimpses... What, the glimpses? Is that what that says?
He glimpses.
He glimpses. Ah. This word was gone.
he disappeared.
He's gone.
He gone.
See, he's looking at us. He gone.
Yeah. He's a... Oh. He is just looking at us.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You don't like that?
It's a little strange.
You know,
A little weird.
you don't like Cammy looking at you?
Not in this context. Maybe in others, but not right now.
He glimpses the various scenarios again, and the one constant is death. Most involve him dying, and a good amount involve Devon dying as well. Cameron imagines that this is indicative of what's most likely to happen. But a few, just two in fact, show Cameron and Devon surviving, with Brian either living or dying. Cameron doesn't care much about the latter, just as long as he can get Devon and himself out of Echo alive. They can deal with Brian afterwards. Cameron doesn't even care much if he doesn't make it, especially in his state of mind, but he won't accept not being able to save Devon. Suddenly, remembering what he had done earlier, Cameron tries to subtly brush his pocket, and is amazed that the key is still there. Does Brian know? Well, he does know that Cameron had planned, but in his own excitement, and especially because he's tweaked out, he's hyper-focused on other things. He's also missing the key being taken out of his pocket. That, and Brian's memory is terrible. Decades of drug and neurotoxic doses had dismantled who he used to be. He doesn't even seem to remember why he choked Cameron in the first place. Do you need a reason?
No.
You know?
You just do.
Sometimes
you just choke.
Sometimes it just feels good to choke someone. He doesn't... Oh yeah, the thing, yeah.
Had to make connections down in Sonora. Stuff was over the fucking counter there, so it was easy to get, but getting it over the fucking border was a whole different issue.
Ryan suddenly stops talking, eyes narrowing. Cameron's pulse quickens as he wonders if Brian had just remembered his plan. What's wrong? His voice is still rough from the strangling, a deep soreness starting to emanate from the core of his neck.
I don't know. I just like you better when you're smiling, but I'm fucking boring you. But if I'm fucking boring you, just say so.
It takes Cameron a few seconds to understand what Brian is even talking about, then a few more to scan the bear's thoughts. In Brian's mind, his smile has a lot to do with how interesting the bear's over-explanation of
Yeah.
Rohypnol,
There you go.
there it is. So Cameron quickly puts on one of his faces. Oh, sorry, it really is interesting. It's just so overwhelming. I'm so overwhelmed with the drugs and...
Shut up.
Cameron shuts up. Brian starts to work his jaw like he's chewing something before clenching his fists. Cameron tenses up, preparing himself to be hit again.
You're cute, but not that cute. And I'm not that stupid. I hate fags like you, sucking up and sucking dick so you get what you really want.
Brian's mind flicks through a few faces, but the only one defined enough for Cameron to comprehend is a fox in a red hat. Then Brian seems to relax, but the anger is still there, the bear having honed it to become more cool and collected, which only makes it all the more terrifying. Sure, stimulants increase empathy in a normal brain, but if Brian abused them to the point that feels like caffeine, then it probably only increases its irritability and rage. That's what his mother was like at the end, and it always confused Cameron as to why someone would want to do a drug that makes them feel worse.
I got a better idea.
Cameron gasps as Brian grabs him by the ear. No, stop. I can walk with you. I won't run. I won't try to run. Cameron senses the bear's amusement as his fear of being pulled by his ears again, and the coyote quickly stifles his begging, realizing it might shift Brian's interest back to using Cameron for torture rather than his abilities. The pain had been building, but it's nothing, absolutely nothing compared to what his bear had done to others. Cameron manages to settle into a stumbling walk as Brian pulls him along, bent over and trying to see the ground in the darkness, all while he tries to carefully follow the bear's rough, unpredictable movements. Every minute or so, Cameron looks forward and sees the scenario he's aiming for still within reach, so he keeps walking. Meanwhile, a van emerges from the trees, parked a ways off the side of the road. Brian freezes, staring. Then he lets out a surprised laugh.
Well, I'll be damned. The fucker got away.
Who?
Who?
Who? The coyote winces as Brian continues to hold him by the ear. Cameron hopes that he's talking about Devin, even though he can sense his presence of the younger bear just ahead of them. The coyote would be glad to be proven wrong, and his abilities, especially if it means Devin got away. But Cameron knows.
The cat! I swear I shot him twice, too. Then again, he didn't do that weird jerking thing people do when you give him the kill shot, so I must have missed the second time. Thought maybe I just killed him with the first.
Cameron looks where Brian is staring and sees the spot where Arturo must have been. Dark stains cover the leaves, along with what looks like vomit, and Cameron feels his own stomach churn at the sight. It's difficult to connect his outgoing, oblivious friend to the mess, and Cameron feels guilt mingle with his misery as he realizes that what's happening to Artie is their fault. But he knows Artie is so far away now, miles away, and Cameron slightly encourages the cat to keep going, to do whatever he can to save them and himself, even though he's clearly in terrible shape. Cameron hopes Artie can hear him, and even if he's awake right now. Cameron senses another ominous shift in the bear's motivation. Brian doesn't think that Artie will make it to the interstate, and he knows he should go looking for the cat. But everything is so fucked from the start. 3 young men who likely have close family and friend groups, all 3 of them injured and beaten, and all 3 knowing full well what Brian is capable of. There's no point to it anymore. Brian had almost reverted to thinking he'd gotten away with all of this somehow, but no. This is the end.
Well, yes, that's it then. Figured it was getting close for a while now.
The calm with which Brian accepts his nearing demise makes Cameron want to try to escape all over again. Why can't this bear just end it without taking them down with him? It's the end for him, not them. Can I see Devin? Cameron half-heartedly smiles, hoping it would sway the bear, but he's not paying attention enough to the coyote. Brian shakes his head at the sober version of himself, the version that actually did plan to let Cameron go, because why would he add to his problems by killing the Yote, if said Yote could take them all away? That's why he tried to be nice to him, and then of course, things got out of hand. Cameron begins to shake as he senses Brian's arousal and excitement. He's thinking about Cameron, about his baggie full of bath salts, and about how long it might take to find them in. Cameron blanches mentally, unsure of what that dark place full of death is, but he knows he does not want to go there. Where are you taking me?
You're the psychic. Figure it out.
True.
Right. Keeping his hold on the coyote, Brian pulls Cameron toward the van.
Ooh, going to the van.
Very exciting.
Ooh, we back out here.
It isn't long before Artie realizes that the lights along the interstate are actually a lot farther away than he had thought. He had no idea how long he's been walking, but it feels like at least an hour, and the road is maybe just a little closer. At this point, he's so weak his movements are uncoordinated, that deep down he knows his body is about to give up. Every dizzy spell, every wave of anxiety, it terrifies the cat that he might have another seizure, and if he does, he knows that he won't be getting back up. Artie, please! Oh, Cam?
Ooh.
Now, Artie looks around, hopefully. He'd probably start crying right now if Cameron just showed up, if only because he wouldn't be alone anymore. You've got the amalgam. Just like...
Oh, he's just like...
he's just kind of like...
He does like the gorilla run like across the...
I was going to start to say Fortnite dancing. Like...
You see him flossing. Just the default dance.
Yeah. You know how it is.
He comes dropping in from the battle bus overhead.
Look, when they announced the Echo crossover with Fortnite,
Please.
and you can play as Chunter and probably Jenna.
It has to. And Sydney.
You know, a woman.
Has to do.
Right. You'd maybe get Samuel.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, right. But then Artie sees a pair of headlights closer than the others, and it gets closer and closer. Artie notes that the lights are coming right toward him, and he doesn't bother getting out of the road, a feeling like this must be a light at the end of the tunnel situation. Oh, look at him.
Oh.
Look at him. It's all like messy. It was like head fur.
Yeah.
It was just...
Well, I mean, you know, that's kind of a swath cut right through his old skull.
That's fine. And then the lights slow when Artie hears the sound of an engine.
What the fuck are you doing standing there like a fucking idiot on the fucking road?
Artie's ears twitch, recognizing the voice from somewhere in his past, in what might as well be another life. It's hard to tell because they're screaming at him. A car door opens and Artie just stands there, lost in the light.
I told you guys to fuck off. First the fucking bar is closed because I'm fucking cold. Now you're still here to fuck with me? I just want to cunt and drink to cunt and relax.
Okay. That's a way to say
he didn't,
that.
he didn't bring his mask with him.
Yeah, I know. They didn't let him in because he didn't bring his mask.
Duke would be the guy to be
Yeah.
like, it's my American-born right to not have to wear a mask in public.
Dead ass. the fuck over it, bro. Or you just chill out.
Man, he's like, COVID is just made up. It's that
It's
echo
fake.
mumble jumble
It
like
is.
all of you
Yeah,
people.
that's true.
It
just spread.
Arturo furrows his brows, and never having heard that particular word used in such a way. A figure starts to materialize in front of Arturo, and finally he recognizes him. Oh.
What happened to you?
There's kind of an allure to Duke.
Punish Duke.
The weasel stares at him, then tilts his head to the side, squinting before reaching out and turning Arturo slightly by the shoulder.
Shit, there's no way. You couldn't be that fucking...
The weasel trails off, then looks at Artie's face.
Who did this?
Artie reluctantly opens his mouth, for some reason feeling almost embarrassed about his coordination. Bar? The weasel stares at him with an odd look.
Bar? Yeah, I was at the bar. It's closed.
Bear.
Bear? Brian?
Arturo nods and regrets it immediately as he almost falls over.
Damn, you're real fucked up, aren't you?
Arturo stares back at the weasel and notices his expression, like he's trying to decide something. It's not like the right reaction to the situation, and Artie suddenly feels like he might be in danger, but he has no idea why. I want Duke to just pull out a Glock.
Finish him off.
Just gotta clean up Brian's mess.
Yes, sir.
All he remarks is that this old man had floored Devin with 2 swings.
Whoa. There you go.
With 2 swings, so combined with his current state, he couldn't do a thing. Then the weasel seems to come out of whatever it is that he was talking about.
Well, I'll be damned. This is it then, isn't it? That stupid motherfucker. Alright, get in. We're going to the hospital.
Arturo stumbles forward, and once the weasel realizes he's having trouble moving at all, he helps Arturo inside. As he does, the weasel sucks in a breath, grimacing.
Jesus Christ. This is really making me not want to do what I'm gonna have to do after this. But you know, everything's gotta end eventually.
Arturo isn't sure what the old weasel is talking about, but if he's taking him to the hospital, then he's at least on the right track. Free... friends?
Yeah, I'll call Peyton PD once I drop you off. Gotta make sure I can beat him back, though.
Arturo decides that it's the weasel who's acting strange. But as the strange weasel starts to make a 3-point turn to drive back toward the interstate, Arturo is only grateful. He's done what he can, and now the rest is up to God. He can only pray. So he prays for Devin, Cameron, Maria, and himself, because if he survives, he knows the road in front of him is long, fractured, and broken.
Oh, Duke, you got him. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Duke's gonna murder him.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's okay, though.
Yeah, right? Devin feels his body bouncing and shaking on a hard metallic surface, occasionally leaning from side to side, feeling like he's laying down in a car and taking sharp turns. The bear opens his eyes, groaning. Dev?
Cam?
Is Cameron driving? The coyote has his own sedan that he drives, but usually, if they're out together, it's Devin's Jeep. At first, he thinks maybe he's given the wheel to the coyote so that he himself can get some rest. But they came in the Jeep, and Cameron can't drive standard, right? Standard? Is that what that's called? Yeah, it's standard.
I guess they might call it standard in a different way. I don't know. Actually, I've never heard it called standard before.
Do you all use standard or Manuel?
No, Manuel is standard.
Yes, like what word do you use?
Oh.
Yeah. Do
you
you all say standard or Manuel?
Manuel. I drive my car. Manuel.
Using the Prindle, you know?
Yeah, the Prindle. Iconic. Never the same.
I'm so glad she still works in the industry.
It's so good.
It's just nice seeing her.
I
you
know. Or even just hearing her. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Amphibia, good as fuck.
Right? Based, even.
Base. It's so funny when she was still doing the title cards on Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm.
She would say like that she was from Sweet Life. She's like, I mean Amphibia. It's pretty good.
Oh my god, the Wand IDs are good.
They're very good.
They're still iconic.
I would agree. They're not as good anymore, but they're
well, because like, who do they have?
well, just the way that they do it now. But that's fine.
Yeah.
It's because the logo's different now.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay. End of an era. Come on, stop assuming things. Lately, Cameron seems to bristle whenever he does. Bristol?
Bristle.
Do you not pronounce the T?
No,
Well, why not?
because you just don't.
Isn't Bristol a word?
Bristol, and I think it's a place.
Okay.
Bristle is also how that is.
Is it not Bristol board?
What?
I don't know.
What the fuck is a bristle?
I thought I heard that at some point in my life.
Oh, you got me. I've never heard of that myself.
Lately, as in ever since they got to Echo. Devin, I'm here. How are you doing? Cameron's concerned, gentle voice has clearly masked something strained and desperate underneath.
Cameron, what? What's wrong?
I told you he's all drugged up.
But he can barely talk.
Cam?
Exactly. I already told you I roofied him. It's like blacking out. Anyway, it's wearing off. He's just tired.
Is that blood? Why is he bleeding?
Did it to himself. Imagine what a mess we'd have if he wasn't drugged, right? Never trust a bear to stay put when you chain him up.
Devin, can you hear me? Are you okay?
Yes.
No. Then he's drifting back to sleep again.
Honk.
Yep. More sounds of driving on a rough road, a gravel grinding under wheels and hitting the undercarriage. When he comes to again, it's stopped, and Devin realizes the van doors are open.
Looks like it did wear off just in time.
Can I go to him, please? Devin sees that one of Cameron's ears is twisted in the older bear's grasp, and the coyote's head tilted to the side, wincing as he tries to get a better look at Devin. The younger bear becomes very still, seeing his best friend being held by the worst person he's ever met. One of his soft, sensitive ears that Devin had played with countless times in the past is now twisted tightly onto itself. In Brian's other paw, he holds a shotgun. Lit. On top of it, Brian looks angrier than usual. In fact, he's looking at Cameron with an exasperated and utter contempt, all the while Cameron isn't paying attention to him, but looking instantly at Devin. Instantly at Devin instead. Okay.
Intently.
Intently?
Mm-hmm.
Intently at Devin instead.
Of course. Fucking typical. I'm glad I saved this.
He suddenly grabs the coyote by the shoulders and turns Cameron around to face him, to face away from Devin. Even so, there's no confusion as to what happens to Cameron next. Brian turns slightly away from Cameron, then spins and sends the back of his hand across the coyote's muzzle. Lit!
Womp.
The sound is so loud, Devin is shocked awake, adrenaline compensating for the sedative. At first, Devin refuses to believe what he just saw, that a sound like that could have been made with Cameron's muzzle. The coyote's head snaps to the right before he instantly starts to crumple, but Brian holds him up. I love how often they use the word crumple. It's very nice.
It's a good word.
It's good representation.
Mm-hmm. Crumple rep, you know.
Yeah.
Hey!
Devin yells automatically, shocked by what he just saw. He'd never seen someone hit that hard in his entire life. In the silence that follows, the distinct sound of of something small clatters around the van, as if a plastic bead had been thrown against the metallic walls. Devin hears it loud next to him, and looking down, he sees something long spinning in place before finally coming to a stop. It's thin, white, and it starts wide, but tapers to a sharp point. And Devin only has a moment to focus on it before he grunts as Cameron lands on top of him, Brian having pushed him over. Lit.
Oof.
Let's see, yeah. As he's looking down at the coyote, he sees the blood begin to seep from his mouth. Devin realizing the white thing in front of Cameron's teeth. Wait, one of Cameron's teeth, okay. And shocked anger overcomes the fear.
Hey!
All sense has seemingly left Devin. Everything he's feeling and thinking condensed down to the one word that he screams to express his anger.
Kim!
Panic is making him breathe fast, though he tries to keep his chest from heaving to avoid bouncing Cameron's head. Brian had hit him so hard that he definitely could have killed him. That makes it all the more terrifying in the way Cameron's body went limp. He had been so reminiscent of Cameron's sudden collapse, on Artie's sudden collapse, when he had suddenly lost his life. But Cameron is breathing, though it's in a terrible snorting way.
Cammy, baby, can you hear me?
The panic in his voice lowers to an almost pitiful whine as he stares at the coyote's twitching, his eyes half open and his head tilting back and forth slowly.
Whoops. Took a bit more out on him than I meant to. Fuck, that hurt.
Brian shakes the paw he's used to hit Cameron, as if a bash in Cameron's muzzle made it sting. Devin's rage crescendos once more.
Brian, I will fucking kill you.
Brian looks surprised for just a second, and then he goes on grinning, enjoying the reaction, as if he's watching a show. This only makes Devin angrier.
I'll knock every tooth out of your fucking head. I'll tear your throat out.
Devin's voice weakens, breaks, then trails off under Brian's apparent glee at the younger bear's fury. Realizing that Cameron's ears are twitching at his shouting, Devin returns his attention to Cameron as the coyote lets out a low, raspy groan.
Cameron, honey, you can hear me, right? Cameron!
Meanwhile, blood oozes out of the coyote's nose and mouth, seeping into the fur on Devin's stomach inside. Devin tries to keep his sobbing and gasping to a minimum as Cameron's head continues to rest over his diaphragm. Cameron's eyes flutter, then he blinks, and Devin sees the light of the consciousness re-enter his eyes.
Kim!
Devin? Cameron grunts under his breath, lifting his head slightly. Brian already looks bored of the catastrophe he just created, and now he keeps looking over his shoulder into the darkness that stretches behind him, shifting impatiently.
Alright, make it quick, Yodi. We need to get moving. Don't you touch him! You could have broken his fucking neck!
Devin's voice cracks and turns hoarse again. Brian bristles, finally reacting, but Devin turns his attention back to Cameron, continuing to try and gently coax him into a state of consciousness.
Come on, baby, can you hear me? Can you understand what I'm saying?
Slowly, Cameron lifts his head, a mixture of blood and saliva connecting his lips to Devin's fur in a long strand. I'm okay. I'm fine. Cameron sounds confused as he mumbles, trying to get up unsteadily.
No, stay still. No, get up. Didn't I tell you what I'd do to your bear if you don't? Then do it! Come over here and do it, you fucking coward! You fucking scum!
Devin. Cameron's voice is calm, albeit quiet and weak, and the bear goes silent as he focuses back to the coyote. He has his head lifted, trying to focus on Devon's face. Who's feeling this right now? The question catches the bear by surprise.
What?
The mines, that's right. I'm going to the mines, and I'm coming back to you. Cameron clasps a paw on his muzzle, wincing hard as he shuts his eyes tight.
What? What mines? Stay here.
Devon's eyes well up with tears, seeing that the coyote is barely barely able to understand what's happening. Then Cameron leans into the kiss the bear, again taking Devon by surprise. He immediately smells and tastes Cameron's blood, making the gorge
I guess so.
rise in his throat. Gourd?
Gorge, I think, but I don't
Gorge?
know what it's referring to. Like,
Oh,
maybe just a bad feeling, perhaps.
It reminds him of his predator nightmares, but Cameron insists, so Devon focuses himself not to heave. He doesn't want to feel the gap where Cameron's lower left canine used to be, the unevenness of his already swollen muzzle. As he focuses himself to kiss back, he feels something else press against his lips. Something hard and oddly shaped, and Devon opens his muzzle, allowing the blood to flood into his mouth. But with it comes something else. Devon realizes all at once that it's a key!
It's the guiding key.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you. Devon maneuvers the key into his muzzle as subtly as he can, hearing Brian sigh impatiently behind Cameron. It slides under his tongue, tiny in his comparatively large muzzle. Cameron whispers into Devon's ear, "We're going to go back home together. I promise."
But where are you going? Why the mines? Honey, please.
Devon can't keep the whining panic out of his voice, sounding like a cub, but managing to keep the words clear with the tiny key under his tongue. Devon just stares at Cameron as he pulls back, tears rolling down his cheeks as his coyote crawls weakly to his feet and steadies himself against the wall of the van.
You're fine.
He turns his gaze back to the fierce Sauben bear.
Furious. Sit tight, kid. We'll be back in a little while. I promise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To the mines, we're
Hey.
going to the mines again.
Yeah. All right. We'll end the part here, everyone.
Okie dokie.
So we'll see you guys around.